What's good, everybody? Sean Show Love Rosenberg in the building. Back at you with another video. Well, it seems to me somebody is coming back to music with a brand new album. And after all the back and forth that this man has been going through, and if you guys don't know, he is my second favorite rapper of all time. And ladies and gentlemen, you guys ready? Well, that's right. 50 Cent as the algorithm, new project coming soon. 50 has announced his 6th studio album. After 12 long years of this man not dropping an album, he is now coming back. I'm excited for this. Now, if you guys don't know, 50 Cent initially had his initial 6th studio album, which was supposed to be King String's Immortal. But the album got pushed back so many times, and the album was supposed to be executive produced by Dr. Dre, but it never happened. 50 ended up canceling that album. But for many years, 50 Cent has been teasing talked about potentially new music. But he's finally back, and he has a new album, potentially a new album called The Algorithm. Now, I am excited, but at the same time, I don't want to get my hopes up because I don't know if 50 is actually really going to deliver and put out this album. Now, the question is 50 Cent going to release this album independently, or is he going to find a way to re-sign with Shady Aftermath Interscope Records and put this album out on not only on G Unit, but Shady Aftermath as well? Can we see potential Eminem and Dr. Dre on this album? Because I think this will be great to put them back in the perspective of where 50 used to be at. I'm excited for this. And I'm not going to say that this album is going to be on the level of Get Rich or Die Trying, because that, 50 was was blowing up at the time, and that was his peak of his career. Not to say he fell off after Get Rich or Die Trying. He did have The Massacre. He did have Curtis, and then Before I Self-Destruct, of course, we got the G Unit group album, Back for Mercy, and including all the mixtapes. I guarantee we're not going to get that type of 50 Cent ever again, but at least we're going to get something from 50, because it's been long overdue, and I'm glad that 50 is coming back outside with a new with a new album. It's been a long time coming. And we all know that 50 Cent is going to address a lot of the rappers, or potentially address a lot of the rappers that have been dissing him, from the Let's Rap About It podcast to the Harrison family, and to most recently Pat Poose, because Pat Poose dropped a fire diss track. Now, I didn't felt necessary to do a reaction to the Pat Poose diss track. I reacted to it on my own, and I ain't gonna lie, Pat Poose cooked 50 on that record. 50, I'm not gonna lie, Pat cooked you on that record for going straight 5 minutes with nothing but bars. And I guess because of all the dissing 50 that 50 has to incur, this actually, and I'm glad that most of these rappers have motivated 50 Cent to finally come back to music. Because that's what 50 needs to do. He needs to take a break from all the television, the movies, and from the entrepreneurs to all the memes that he's been going back and forth with people, and get back in the booth and just make music. It doesn't have to be, and I know 50 is going to be more for the record sales, but I want 50 to be more for the actual creativity of music, the sound, the art form. That's what I'm hoping I'm getting. So I'm excited. I'm glad he's dropping this. And shout out to Fantastic Hip Hop. He announced he did a video based on this. So without further ado, let's get right into it. I apologize for the long intro. Let's get into it. Fantastic hip hop, take it away.
Now, when it comes to 50 Cent, we have some really massive news, and well, before we go any further into it, if you are ready to hear how 50 Cent just announced an entire new album, what the plan really is here, and we already do know so much about what is to come from this era and who is going to be joining 50 in terms of the features on this thing, well, be sure to leave a like, as seriously. With 50 Cent coming out today and making the full-on announcement that he is going to be releasing his first new project in over a decade, I mean, whether you love or hate this guy, this is big because it's going to have very big consequences on the entire music industry and rap world.
Right.
Specifically, what I am referring to when I say that all comes from what's really at stake with this project and what has inspired 50 Cent to make it in the first place, which hasn't just been to continue his musical story and all of a sudden release an album of new tunes after being away from the rap game and having so much more success in other industries for now all of these years, but it's to get petty, it's to be spiteful, and it's really to release a diss album and an album that is gonna put people in their places in his eyes. Which, when it comes to who 50 is trying to just make sure never raps or talks about him again,
Hey, listen, I'm not mad of it. If he wants to release a diss album, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Release the diss album. I'm all for it. Because this just shows even though he's probably going to be dissing a lot of people, but at least we're going to get music finally. And 50, please do not shelve this album. Please do not pretend to announce a new project and then months and years to come, you don't release it. Stick to your word and release this album. I'm ready for it. It's been long overdue. We want new music from you. And I hope that not only that 50 is going to address a lot of people, I'm hoping he can go personal on this album because a lot of people, whether throughout 50's career, even during the peak of his career, they wanted the more personal route of 50 Cent from from Many Men to what's another track? What's another track? He had a lot of personal tracks he recorded that should have been on majority of most albums, because I know a lot of people did not like The Massacre, did not like Curtis, and did not like Before I Self-Destruct. And I hope 50 does not also do what he did with Animal Ambition when he dropped every single off the album. I believe 50 should at least drop 3 singles. That's about it. Promote it, and then 3 singles, then drop the album, and then go on a promo run, doing like he normally do. But like I said, I want 50 to be more about the art form because I know he's going to try. He knows that he cares about album sales and he wants to do insane numbers. I don't think 50's ever going to do like big numbers, but I could see him if he is going to think about sales, I could see him potentially do maybe around between 200 to 220,000 copies within the first week. I don't see him doing the big numbers that he used to do, like what he did. He's never going to reach that level where it's like Get Rich or Die Trying, where they did over 800,000 copies, and he's not going to do like Massacre over 1 million copies, or Curtis that he did nearly 700,000 copies. I know he's not going to do those numbers, but at least I would say a minimum around at least 200 to 220,000 copies. Now, I could be wrong. I could be over-exaggerated, but that's just how I look at it. But yeah, let's continue.
There is a very long list of people he is feuding with right now that includes people such as T.I., Fabulous, Jim Jones, Dave East, Papoose, and so many others. And while 50 is already starting to respond to a lot of them now, whether that actually is in diss records with lyrics or in AI trolling and AI music videos like the ones you're going to see on your screen, well, in the midst of the rampant AI usage and trolling, while this return from 50 Cent in terms of the music started off with one song that he deemed to be the theme for his New Power spinoff with the track No One Told told us, which features Leon Thomas. But now what we are seeing is that this project really is underway because things are evolving and they are evolving quick, as after releasing a second record that featured Max B, well, we have now gotten even more from there, as we saw 50 Cent start to put more into his music than we would have ever expected when T.I. rightfully called him a fraud to a degree and somebody who spends more time on the keyboard than in the booth. As 50 Cent has dropped yet another song recently, and at that, one that does sound the most completed and focused from 50, which the reason why this is, 50 Cent has officially confirmed this, is because he has went into his vault and has given us older music and older performances, which you can see him referenced directly right here in this comment. But despite when this
wait a minute.
You can see him referenced directly right here.
I know. Oh my God. I know for a fact, if you guys don't know, shout out to Diverse Mentality. If you guys don't know the person, Quake GW, I know Quake has to be jumping up and down with celebration that not only that 50 announced a new album, but he got 50 mention his page and mention him overall that new music is coming. I know for a fact Quake is having a field day right now with celebration, but let's continue.
Here in this comment. But despite when this came out, as 50 Cent announced it directly himself right on his social media, and industry sources are starting to report that the word is coming around that 50 Cent is shopping around a new date for a massive project, well, we can officially say it. Welcome to the algorithm era. We shouldn't be surprised that 50 Cent is going to go ahead and release an entire new project with everything he is going through, because he kind of has been telling this to us for at least a few days, but honestly even longer. Because if you go to 50 Cent's social media pages and see the stuff that he has been posting despite the rampant AI usage and despite the algorithm designing a lot of the artwork and creative direction for the project as well, the trolling and everything going around that he usually does has seemingly evolved and inspired and almost changed his mind in a way that has brought him to this new chapter in his.
I just peeped the Avengers that I guess all of 50's enemies are the Marvel, the Avengers, and then 50 is basically Thanos. Like, you know Thanos. Have you ever seen the movie The Avengers of Infinity War and then Endgames, how they all try to go after Thanos and take him out? 50's basically saying all the enemies are the Avengers. That's what it is. 50 is going to come with the trolling all the time, but let's continue.
His career, and has made him enter a new phase altogether, where I guess seeing all these other older rappers also diss him as well and try to have their moments, and just see the sheer amount of people coming at him at once, this has made him confident in his ability to make music again, or at the very least release new music again, and at that enough new stuff to call it a project. And this is resulting in this new project that 50 Cent is calling The Algorithm. That is the name of 50 Cent's project, mixtape, or whatever this does end up being. And I mean, it is fitting to a degree, as he is the one who has come up with this idea. After seeing all the shakeups and all the drama that has been around him as a whole, he has kind of started to believe to himself that he controls the ecosystem. He is the content. He is the system. And I mean, you see it right here in what he posted before releasing his third song in this run. He is literally comparing himself to Thanos now, which tells you every single thing you need to know. And while this is also inspiring 50 to use more AI than we have seen, he has really been nonstop with the trolling through it. It is coming with big plans for rap music, and we haven't seen that in so long, and we already do know quite a lot about what really is in the pipeline for 50 Cent, and that is for two reasons. One, because this project does seem like it is being finished faster than ever, and it really may be dropping a lot sooner than a lot of other rap albums that we have already been on the lookout for, and that's all intentional, and that's all a part of the rush that 50 Cent is really trying to create with this moment. And just building on that, as this is 50 Cent's first album in 12 years, and is only his sixth album overall in his entire career. I do think from here on out, with 50 Cent deciding to put his feet back into the rap game and deciding to continue his story right here, and how it's actually going to all culminate into a body of work, which in terms of the execution and even in terms of the message, I do think that's very important to consider, because as 50 Cent did go on to note in the comments that he has 80 songs left over from the 2000s, this could reveal to us that we're going to just get a lot of older stuff reworked here as opposed to
over 80 some songs. Now I hope if these are old songs, like, I'm assuming these got to be old songs from at least, because I remember there's got to be from the Get Rich or Die Trying and probably the Massacre era, because 50 at the time, when I remember, 50 did say that he recorded well over, what is it, 42 songs for Get Rich or Die Trying at the time. Now, if that's the case, or unless if 50, alternates, like does an alternate version of these old songs and make it like a more newer version, I'm here for it. But I hope he keeps some of the original version of the songs, and he may try to change the lyrics around to probably send some shots at people. Who knows? But yeah, but who knows? Let's continue.
New 50 Cent material, which I mean could be both pretty cool but also could be pretty lazy. Well, overall, just understanding the moment and what it's building to make an album reflective of this presence that you think you hold in 50, even if your ego is a little overinflated about it right now. I do think it is a fitting way to make an album and make it have purpose at this point in his career, and 23 years after his first record released. And on that note, when it comes to the way that this is all being made, for 50 Cent, I mean, you probably could tell if you see all the AI he has been using and how quick he has been turning out content for all of these songs in terms of new music videos and other memes that are tying into what he is saying and what he is pushing. But it really does seem like rather than making a ton of new songs per se and recording disses from the top down, it does look like we are going to see 50 Cent for the most part take songs that were already made, like the Power theme song with Leon Thomas, and punch in a few lines or answer the call from Max B and make a song like that. And again, on that note, and for this album, it's not going to be about the disses in terms of the bars and lyrics that 50 Cent is writing, but it's going to be about the moment, taking control and shifting narratives in these bigger set pieces. I mean, I don't think even 50 Cent fans would try to tell you that he is a remotely top-tier lyricist in the year of 2026. I don't think anybody is going to stand on that, and I do think 50 Cent even knows that as well, even if you just compare him to T.I.
I mean, we all know 50 is not really like it's just like Fantastic Hip Hop said. He's not really a top tier lyricist. 50 had moments where he can get lyrical. But 50, he's only great when it comes to songwriting. He's not really like, I mean, he is like a battle rapper, but he's not really like a battle rapper, because 50 has moments where he can get, like I say, he can get lyrical, but he's more of a songwriter of that because of his catchy, because mostly he can write incredible hooks. Like I remember, because even 50 Cent talked about it in his book. There will be, when he was going through his sales battle with Kanye West, he said there'll be moments I had to eventually go back and around my old grandmother's house to soak up some of that old energy. That's what he I think that's what he said in his book. I'm talking about the the Hustle Hard and Hustle Smarter book. I have his book too. I just gotta find it though. But I gotta find that book. But yeah. But let's continue.
Is wrapping absolute circles around him, which means that 50 Cent is probably not going to win that game. So he either has to troll his way out of it, but now that he is making music, he's probably just going to try and create bigger moments, which I do think if 50 Cent has one musical ability over a lot of the guys that he is beefing with, maybe not T.I., because T.I. really does seem to be on an incredible run so far this year, and he already has a hit record, which shows his ability to do more than just rap for skill. But compared to all those other guys, 50 Cent definitely does seem to be a better moment maker than them. And when you look at the list of people that 50 Cent is seemingly going to have on this album, who we already can see there is a big link to, and we almost can all but confirm it, 50 Cent is definitely going to get some of these moments, as this is where the other names come in. And in terms of the biggest guest that we may see, well, it's looking like both Eminem and Drake are going to be on this album. As just when it comes to the state of the album and 50 Cent and Drake's relationship, there was a rumor that arose a few weeks ago about 50 Cent being on Drake's upcoming album, Iceman, and the reason this was...
Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, 50 Cent may be my second favorite rapper of all time, but I'm going to try to check out the single, though. Even though I said I would never listen to Drake again because of the whole lawsuit and the whole him trying to appeal, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. If Drake is potentially on this album, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. I ain't going to have to go through with it because 50 is my second favorite rapper. And on top of that, this will be a great moment for hip hop too, because arguably this will be the first time that Drake and 50 Cent ever did a song together. But As far as Eminem goes, I'm excited for that. I can't wait to see M and 50 back on the record, doing a record again. 50 and M can make great music. I mean, even Patiently Waiting from Get Rich or Die Trying, and even Gatman, Gatman and Robin. Now I know a lot of people don't like that song, but I like that song too. Off the Massacre, that's a great song too. But yeah, I'm excited for 50 and M. Not really excited. I would be if Drake had never filed that lawsuit. I would have been excited for 50 and Drake, but Drake is on my bad side anyways because of the whole being anti-hip hop. But let's continue.
What was all due to the fact that two of Drake's top producers and collaborators, with one of them being Boy Wonder, and it literally does not get any closer to Drake than that, well, both of them out of nowhere posted images from when 50 Cent did his interview on ABC News, where he was talking about his Diddy documentary, and he was smiling in the blue suit that has already become a kind of iconic moment. And I mean, with that, with two Drake collaborators posting these random cryptic images that were pretty much of the same thing, and they are trying to always act like they are building or alluding to something much bigger to come. I mean, we know 50 Cent and Drake are close. We know that 50 worked with Drake during the beef, and G-Unit helped him out when he was going against Kendrick Lamar. And we know that they do see a lot of themselves in one another and just represent the same thing across different eras. 50 Cent has mentioned that, and I mean, Drake literally made an entire diss song about it in Push-Ups. And so in terms of what they are trying to get out of this, for Drake to jump in this thing with 50, they probably think it'll send a message to all of their enemies, and for even Drake and his Iceman rollout, give that project legs and clout that it otherwise does not have right now. And I mean, I do have to say, from an objective standpoint, it does not seem like the worst idea for either of them, because if they are unified, and in terms of where they stand and what they represent in the culture,
that would be crazy. I know if Drake and 50 do have a song together, I know both of them are going to be dissing a lot of their enemies. A lot of their enemies, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Kendrick throws subliminals at 50. Now, I seen that Kendrick did throw some subliminals at 50 a little bit, but not fully. And I know, and it was alleged that 50 Cent even threw subliminals at Kendrick on Snoop Dogg's Missionary album on the Guns and Smoke record. In the beginning, when he said he thinks he's Big Stepper. That is, I think a lot of people got overlooked that bar, but that I looked it up and I found out that was a really subliminal shot at Kendrick Lamar. So, and I know for a fact somebody's going to report this to Dot and be like, hey, your former label man and your enemy are teaming up. But who knows? But let's continue.
They kind of already are. They're kind of already pushed into this corner where they don't align with majority of other rap superstars and legends. I mean, especially if 50 Cent is going to make this album a diss album and go at everybody who is coming at him, which the list is getting longer and longer every day, and I'm sure it will only be longer by the time the record is ready to release. For Drake to be a part of this chaos, it is probably the best person he could bring in terms of sending a message, because they have both backed themselves into a similar place where they don't have the respect of the other peers in their group, whether that's a Kendrick Lamar for Drake or a Jay-Z for 50 Cent, and they have these followings that have almost been amassed at this point by just being the counterculture of hip-hop to the people that most listeners would say run different variations of the entire space. And for that reason, and with 50 Cent really starting to convince himself that he is Thanos. On that note, when it comes to extending out the project and making this thing a record, where despite the fact that I don't think 50 is going to lather it in disses, and I think we are just going to see more punched in lines here, with older songs really being the majority of what we are hearing, like we saw on the Leon Thomas track to T.I., in terms of 50 just throwing in a few lines there after already having a completed theme song. Well, 50's only ability is really going to be able to take control of the moment by creating these big moments that hypothetically should shift and dominate the algorithm. That is 50's ticket here. He is going to have to hog the sheer spotlight of attention alone and just get petty to the absolute max. And I do think Drake will be able to help him accomplish that to a big degree. They are perfect for each other in terms of just being the antithesis to what hip-hop culture is in 2026.
Okay, we're going to stop it right here. You guys can watch the rest of it on his page. But yeah, I'm very excited for 50 Cent new music. Am I excited that if 50 is going to add Drake, that 50 is going to add Drake to the mix? Not really excited about that, because you guys, like I said, there's my stance. I have a real issue with Drake over the lawsuit, and of course adding the YouTube community, the reactors to the lawsuit, even though he's not suing the reactors, but he named them. He didn't name me, but he named my peers in the YouTube spaces and the reaction space on YouTube. And that's where I draw the line right there. But all that and said, on the positive side, I'm happy that he's finally coming back out and dropping new music. Now, is it going to be potentially older music that he already did? I'm not a big fan of that. I would have loved to hear some newer music from some newer producers, but like I said, unless if he alternates these old records and make like a newer version of these records that he already had, but who knows? But other than that, I'm excited. So yeah. But let me know in the comments down below. Are y'all ready for a new album from 50 Cent? Because I am. But yeah, I'm just glad he's back outside and I'm excited. Very excited. Once again, very excited. Yeah, but we're going to go ahead and end it right here. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification as well. Also follow me in my social media platforms above. Join the Discord as well, leaving a link in the description down below. So without further ado, see you guys in the next one. Deuces.